Hey guys, it's Kevin from Newsrocky, and today I'm going to be bringing you a rant about something that is up my ass hard. And I'm going to tell you what it is. It's cancel culture. Each and every day we wake up and we find out something on the news. The actual national corporate media is pushing out some kind of agenda item that is canceling something in our society that is not appropriate or approved by them and the control party politicians. For example, we're going to talk a little bit about our President Joe Biden and his now announcement about one of my favorite childhood books, the Dr. Seuss story. We'll talk about green eggs and ham and more in a minute on Newsrocky. Hey guys, it's Kevin, and I'm back, and I'm pissed, and I'm ready to talk about it because are you mad? Are you getting upset yet about what each and every day we hear about called cancel culture? Guys, this is insane. What are we dealing with now? We have cancel culture that is being driven as a narrative across our platforms each and every day. Not only are they canceling people's First Amendment rights like they did to the former president, Donald J. Trump, on the platform of social media, Alex Jones as well. He's been canceled on every platform because people don't agree with what's being said. Can you imagine a place where actually we're only allowed to hear what they want us to hear? Isn't that exactly what America has fought against? Isn't that exactly what our Constitution protects us from? Isn't that exactly what we don't want to go? We don't want to become communists. We don't want to be socialists. We don't want to read books that are approved by the government. We want to read books that we want to read. Like Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham is now canceled because Joe Biden said we can't read it anymore. Why? It's racist? Green eggs and ham? Call it blue eggs and ham, Joe. I don't know what to tell you. This entire situation is insane. And I want to ask you guys, okay, Kevin's excited. Newsrocky's wound up. I didn't even announce Forward TV. I apologize to the producers and to the network owners here. This is Forward TV, and this is your host, Kevin from Newsrocky. And I'm pissed about cancel culture. You should be too. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care if you're on the opposite side of where I feel is the appropriate narrative of the day. It's not the position either of us should be taking. We should be respecting each other's rights. This is a First Amendment right issue here. This isn't about some kind of political correct movement. For what purpose? So just ask yourself, why is cancel culture here? I have an opinion. I have a really strong opinion, and I think most of you will agree with me. Even the folks that are on the liberal Democratic side, if you're allowing yourself to have common sense, to look at things objectively, you're going to agree as well. What is the purpose of cancel culture? Let's start off with just a little history of who's been canceled over this last year. Well, let's take, for example, J.K. Rowling, the author of obviously, I think most of us love all the famous books, the Harry Potter series that J.K. Rowling wrote. She is now a part of the cancel culture. We can no longer talk about Harry Potter or any of her work. Here's a lady who lived out of her car, fought through whatever it was to achieve something, but now she's being canceled. And quite frankly, I'm not even going to read her why she's being canceled because it's stupid. It's stupid. Let's continue on. Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell is canceled because he supported Donald Trump. Here's a guy, Mike Lindell, with the pillow guy, My Pillow. Here's a story, guys, that every American, white, black, or whoever you are in America should love this story. This is a guy who is a self-admitted crackhead, who was in the basement of a crack house one day when he had this vision. He made an industry. He made millions and millions of jobs, but more importantly than that, he made thousands of jobs, not just the money that was made, it's the jobs he created. He currently employs thousands of people who are probably, like him, convicts, drug addicts, who are finding their way out of that corrupt society that we all try to help people out of. See, the political correctness, they want to talk about how we as a society got to give second chances, but not them. No. Their cancel culture mission cancels everybody. So Mike Lindell, you need to look each and every one of your employees in the eyes, all those people who are paying the bills, raising families, and fighting the battles of addiction, getting themselves back on track. You need to tell them they're canceled too, because Joe Biden and his crew, They don't want to see that happening. Who else has been canceled, guys? We can just keep on going. Tucker Carlson. Oh, so I'm using Mike Lindell, Tucker Carlson, very conservative, very Republican, right? That we don't want to talk about that, guys, but because here's an interesting side, and I tied this in correctly because think about it. Tucker Carlson is on the platform Fox News. Fox News kind of stands alone alongside very, very few conservative channels. Why is that? Is it because it's less viewers? No, they have some of the highest viewers numbers out there. But Tucker Carlson challenges the narrative. And because he challenges the narrative, those who are writing the narrative today under Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Pelosi, Schumer, and the rest of these radicals in this country are trying to wipe people like him off the face of the earth. They don't want to be hearing the comments or the concerns or the challenges to why things are like they are. See, Tucker Carlson, he's put himself out there each and every day by saying, hey, this is what it is. Folks, challenge yourself and be a free thinker. You see, you can't be a free thinker. Tucker Carlson, you've been canceled because you cannot think freely because they said so. Who else has been canceled? Guys, we can keep going down the list. This is a long list of cancel. Think about, let's go back to sports. Do you remember when Drew Brees actually said he was going to stand for the flag? They canceled him. What did they do to Drew Brees? They beat this guy into submission where he started to wear a sticker on his helmet for Jake Blake, the scumbag, piece of shit, sex offender who Kamala Harris called a good guy in his hospital bed. And they canceled Drew Brees because he wanted to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, the red, white, and blue, for the people who fought for this country so we can, in fact, have this very conversation. This insane conversation about cancel culture. You tell me, guys. I'm listening. Go ahead, write it up there. Why am I wrong? Why am I wrong that I don't want to hear about cancel culture? Why am I wrong that I think it's unnecessary to tell me that we need to tear down now Lincoln needs to be canceled? Abraham Lincoln needs to be canceled? This is what this crazy crackpots are doing. They want to cancel everything. Listen, I heard this whole narrative back last year about Columbus. Quite frankly, I could care shit about Columbus. I don't care about Christopher Columbus. But tearing his statue down, does that really prove anything? Does it eliminate the history of Christopher Columbus? You want to change the narrative with new facts that are found, throw it out there. If you want to tear down Christopher Columbus' statue, I could care not. If a community wants to allow it, then let them do it. They can deface all the statues they want. What you can't do is you can't erase history. History is the thing we need to look at each and every day and see through this mission of cancel culture. These people who want to drive this narrative, it's only for one reason. It's to control the conversation. It's not about them getting rid of these people. Guys, wake up. If you're that stupid, liberal Democrats who believe the narrative, you're going to have a really, really bad day tomorrow. Because when the actual facts come out and you are proven to this, and you can understand this with logic, you're going to realize you've been lied to. You see, the people who are pushing this mission of cancel culture, they want you to think that they're doing this to fight for you, the people. Cancel culture is attacking each part of our society, the very fabric of our society, the freedom of speech of our society, the First Amendment rights of our society. And they're doing it for a purpose to divide us as a people. You see, we're falling for it. I'm having this conversation, this rant today on News Rocky because I'm angry. Because I'm now hearing that Dr. Seuss from President Joe Biden is no longer going to endorse any of Dr. Seuss' work. Well, not that long ago, Barack Obama, back in, I believe, 2014 or 15, commented about how you can learn all you need to know about politics from a Dr. Seuss book. You see, the narrative was okay then for B.O. That's Barack Obama, guys. Your favorite president. It was okay then for him to inject Dr. Seuss. But now, all of a sudden, the world has changed, and someone has given an index card to our president, Joe Biden, who, by the way, struggles each and every day to remember what he's supposed to say. You see, this is the problem. I really believe Joe Biden, he doesn't believe this stuff. He's more conservative than most presidents have been in that position He's more conservative than probably George W. was. But you see, he gets an index card and he's told what to read. So he does it. Now, Dr. Seuss, it's time to cancel you. What's next for cancel culture? Who is next? Because they don't stop here, guys. They don't stop here. Have you ever heard about societies in the world's history that burned books? That controlled the narrative? That didn't allow you to speak freely? Didn't allow you to talk about your past, your history? Because see, when we talk about our history in the most imperfect parts of it, it helps us create a better future. So when you have cancel culture as your mission, what is your objective? Where is your goal? What is your goal, people? Talk to me and tell me, what is your goal? Is it to what? To achieve some sort of cleansed society of all one-minded people? Is that what you want? Should we all live in little white houses and drive little black cars? If you really want that, you can move to Russia. You see, all you people that are on this side of this argument of let's cancel this and let's cancel that, and President Trump was colluding with Russia. Man, for some people that hate Russia, you're really trying to make us into Russia. What do you think of that? Uncle Joe gets out there with his index card and he starts reading about the cancel culture. And we're supposed to now believe that there's a reason for the very books that we sat with our very children, I as a child read and was read to me, that Dr. Seuss, his mission was racist. It was not something that could be endorsed by America. Who's America, Joe? You're America? Guess what? I just canceled you. You're canceled. I don't listen to you. You're canceled. Guess what? All the people on this whole platform of cancel culture, I'm going to cancel you. I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to hear your bullshit about trying to create a narrative that has one-sided conversations. The First Amendment, folks, is the fundamental reason we are a free society. The very reason. And as I said, I'm not arguing that there's things that are discussed, and even possibly some things that have been attacked by cancel culture that need to be identified as bad parts of our history. But it doesn't mean you ignore them or burn those books. You live in that society. You think this is good. Where does it end? You know, you talk about cancel culture. What's the effect on the next generation of people? Imagine the world our young people are living in today. Besides this craziness of COVID, the craziness of the political divide, our young people are seeing a society today. Instead of having the conversation at the dinner table about open and free thought, there's an agenda being dropped on that table each and every day for the young people to hear. And we want to teach them as a society from this control party population of the Democrats and the corporate media who are pushing an agenda each and every day about what they want to be said. Guys, they're taking your First Amendment rights away. And if you think this is overstated, if you think I'm being out of control, I'm not. You see, I brood on this for a little bit. I sat and I did my Lamaze class and I breathed and I calmed down. And I got pissed again because it's bullshit. Don't tell me what I can read. You remember back when we were all younger, much younger? I'm 51, so when I was younger, when we were coming up through the education system and its imperfect places that we were put, these books that we were exposed to, we read challenging literary novels that challenge our minds. Not one time did I read a book and think, man, I'm going to march out and I'm going to jump off a bridge because it told me. No, that's the part of growing as a society. We need to encourage, challenge, and want free thought. But not in this society, not under this administration, and certainly not under a control party like the Democrats have today. And you know what? I want to reach out to all my Democrats who I love. I have them on my show. I love you. I don't hate you. I don't even hate Joe Biden. I don't hate anybody who's I don't hate Kamala Harris. I don't hate Barack Obama. What I do hate, I hate the way that people who are in control, who partner with corporate media, are taking advantage of people right now in this country by trying to convince the people of this country that your narrative is the one for the future, when in fact it's the one that destroys our future. You want to cancel culture? You want to cancel people who might think differently? You want to make sure that Coca-Cola is on a knee right now, making sure that they teach each and every one of their employees about the social issues of the day and the injustice of race. We want to make them racially qualified at Coca-Cola. Guys, have you seen the CEO of Coca-Cola? He's an old white dude with white hair. All these corporations that bend on knee for this narrative, guess what, folks? Go and look at it. They're all a bunch of white guys playing the game, making CEO salary that is enormous. But yet they bend on knee to this narrative because I got past that one. That's right. Well, not unless you're Goya. Goya went ahead and stood up for Donald Trump. And when Goya's CEO did that, man, did they want to cancel him. They wanted to kick that Mexican guy right out of his position. No longer could he be the CEO of Goya because he's bad because he said Donald Trump did a good job. That's how crazy it is. Listen, you watch News Rocky, right? I've had people on this show that I don't agree with, and I still have a respectful conversation with them. I don't cancel them. But if I follow the pathway that is being taught to us today by President Joe Biden, the corporate media, and the rest of the people on this cuckoo train out there of cancel culture objective, I would then not be allowing anyone who differed from my opinion. You see, folks, the very hypocrites that stand before us in authority, they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it for a reason. They're doing it so they can have future control. The control right now, it's questionable. They know it's teetering. 74 million people voted for a different solution to the future of America. They realize those numbers. And regardless if you want to agree that there was any corruption with that election or not, I'm not here to debate that today. I'm talking strictly about cancel culture and the fact that this narrative is being driven, not just from people in media or people out there in sports or social justice fighters. I can understand it from those platforms. But when the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, with 50 years experience, guys, have you looked at Joe Biden's past? He's said more racist stuff than any president has ever. He sniffs girls' necks for a living. But yet he's the guy who dictates what's canceled. Are you kidding me? He called the governor of New York the example of success fighting COVID, the greatest governor on earth. Who's canceling him? Governor Cuomo is getting a pass from Joe Biden and the rest of the corporate media. Because why? Because we're going to focus on Dr. Seuss. Guys, watch the bouncing ball. Watch it, because it's bouncing. You got to follow it, because that's all they want you to do. They think we're a bunch of little puppy dogs. They're going to follow this narrative, and we're going to just go bend on knee for it. What's cancel culture did with this conversation of the transgender athletes in this country? Think about it, folks. If you get up in a room and you say, like I'm going to say right now proudly, I don't give a rat's ass if you piss standing up in a dress and piss sitting down in slacks. I don't care what you do. You want to get married in your same sex? I am a justice of the peace. I'll marry you. You want to go ahead and be identified as a woman? I don't care. I don't care what bathroom you piss and shit in. I don't care. But when it comes to treating women fairly, it should be every American's objective to make sure that happens. And think about it, folks. This narrative with this transgender, cancel culture, and everything else, this push from the corporate media that we're hearing each and every day has been so loud that we started to ignore actually who the victims are. Guys, think about it. Cancel culture's created protection to these transgender athletes who want to now take scholarships from young women. And I don't care who you are. I'm not a scientist. I barely got out of high school. But you know what I can tell you? There's a definite difference between a male and a female. Now, listen, there's plenty of females that could knock me out. They train MMA fighters that are amazing athletes. But let me compare an athlete to an athlete. You want to cancel something? Let me cancel this for you, Big Joe. Get out with your index card and read this one. Transgender athletes are not the same. If you're a male and you put on a girl's uniform and you think you should be able to get a scholarship over a naturally born, scientifically proven woman, You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You should be canceled. You see, but cancel culture creates this narrative. So we have this driving force between us, this wedge of dissension, this wedge that divides us. And see, when people like me, News Rocky, get up here on our platform and we talk about cancel culture, I want you guys out there to ask yourself a question. Is it racial? Are we fighting the racial issues in each one of these canceled platforms? Is it political? Is it social justice? Is it for women's rights? You see, just a few years ago, the Me Too movement that swept the nation, Madonna with her pink hat on and all the rest of them took Washington, D.C. by storm. And rightfully so. Women are the most mistreated of anyone in our society, in the history of our society. They've been beaten and raped, abused, and continue to be abused by people like Joe Biden, who want to push the narrative of transgender athletes having every right to perform and compete for scholarships against scientifically born women. It's pathetic. How's it tie into cancel culture? Think about it. Cancel culture is an objective by the control party, and it's narrative being pushed by the corporate media to convince us that we're wrong. You see, if you get up every day, just like a child that you raise, if you say, hey, make your bed. Before breakfast, make your bed. Make your bed. You can't have breakfast till you make your bed. If you keep hearing this narrative day after day after day, you're going to start believing it. You're going to believe Dr. Seuss was vicious in its objective to divide our country because Joe Biden said so. You're going to think Mike Lindell and his story of My Pillow is wrong. Not because he just had an opinion about a presidential candidate or the process. You can't even speak out against the very thing that we fought for as a country to have. Your freedom of speech and your First Amendment rights. Your actual thoughts are under attack because cancel culture is coming after you. Guys, I don't know what to say to you other than this. I'm ranting. I need to go back to Lamaze class. Okay. Look, we can agree on one thing. We're never going to agree on everything. But when it comes to cancel culture, the term itself, there's no real definition to it. It's been made up. It's a lie. It's a lie by people who want to take advantage of the moment. And because they are in the driver's seat and they have control in Washington, D.C. and across this country, they will continue to take advantage of that. And you and I and the rest of America will suffer. Cancel culture and its objective is only one thing. It's total domination and control. Guys, you tuned into News Rocky today for this rant. I hope you enjoyed it. I like your comments. Keep commenting. We'll comment back to you later on. If you have something you want me to challenge, a thought on this, please let me know. If you have another topic you want me to get down in the ring with, let me know as well. Again, you're watching the Forward TV Network. We are on here each and every day, Monday through Friday. We come to you at 4 p.m. And you can go right onto our website. So scroll down, get on the website, check out all the other content. We have many other shows that come to you through the Forward TV Network, and we have many, many more coming, guys. It's been an honor for me to be a part of this project here. And guess what? I think maybe now that I got this rant out there, I bet you they're going to try to cancel me on Forward TV. I don't know if the owners here are going to allow it or not. To be a big challenge. Can they cancel News Rocky? Back to you tomorrow in the ring.